What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Superpower Reviews. My name is Liam Smith. Today we're going to be reviewing the Gantz Anzu Yamasaki sword version statue. Okay, first thing, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. It is a standard window box, windows on all three sides, Gantz logo at the top, and this is the Anzu Yamasaki Gantz sword version. And flipping around to the side of the box, just a few window cutouts here, and it is exactly the same on the other side. Flipping around to the back of the box, again you have the Gantz logo, Anzu Yamasaki, stating it is the Gantz sword version. And below that are a few images of the statue itself. Okay, so I went ahead and took the clamshell that it is housed in out of the box. Gonna go ahead and pop that open. I already did cut the tape off. Now normally I would just have it already out of the box on the base, but I wanted to show this one attaching to the base because the previous statue was a little difficult to get to the base. I had to flex one of the legs over to match the base to the point to where it felt like it was gonna break. So I wanted to see if this one was gonna be the same way and show you how it all goes together. Okay, just like the other statue, it does have a standard black plastic base with metal pegs that the feet attach to. Now, as long as the feet are lined up okay, it shouldn't be a problem attaching like the other one was, but we'll see how that works out. Okay, so as I expected, just like the other statue, you can see when you attach the first foot to the base, you can see the big difference in span between the foot and the base. So this foot literally has to be bent over. And this is a PVC statue, so I'm concerned about breaking the leg off essentially. Okay, so it turns out the best way to do this is to start with a slanted foot on the outside. Start to put that on first, then flex this foot over onto the other pegs. And the pegs themselves, as you can see, are a very tight fit. Okay, so that appears to be seated on there all the way. As you can see, once that is on there, it is not going anywhere. And now that we have the Anzu statue out of the box, I want to show you the only accessory that comes with her is, of course, her sword, being the sword version. Now, the way this works is it won't fit into the hand as is. You have to remove the cap on the end of the hilt. Then it will pass through the sword hand. And simply just put the cap back on, and you're all set. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the details on the statue. Now, of course, the first thing you probably noticed is they did go with a more provocative look compared to the versions that you would see, for example, in the animated movie that came out. Same exact characters, just a more provocative version of that. So starting at the top, we'll take a look at the head sculpt. There's lots of subtle shading, airbrushing, things like that. You can see at the top of the hair, it is a darker brown, fading into the light. Now, taking a look at the face, once again, absolute perfection in the paint apps and the sculpting itself. I love what they did with the skin tones on this. They gave it a subtle shading. There's some pink tones in it, the flesh tones. Everything is done in a very subtle, almost airbrushed way with a matte finish to the skin. I love that they went with a very natural matte finish, not too shiny. And if you look closely at the eyes are done perfectly. They really have that anime look to them. I really love the way they did that. Super, super fine details. I still don't know how they got such fine details in the lashes, the eyeliner, gradients of brown in the iris of the eyes. Absolute perfection. Now moving on down a little further to the suit, excellent job on this. The paint apps are just amazing. The way they went with this was a very slight metallic look, but I like what they did because this is supposed to be latex. Anywhere that the suit would be stretched out on the breastplate area, the shoulders, they gave it a slightly lighter black, just like a black material would do when you stretch it. It slightly lightens the tone on it. They even went to that extent for details on this. And as far as the details on the suit, of course, you can see it does have the blue and silver nodes throughout the suit, just like it does in the anime. Now, if we turn the statue a little bit, you can see some details in here with the sculpting. Look at the suit, the way the straps come down the front, that there are gaps between the skin and the suit. It's not just pasted directly on there. Those are separate pieces that were sculpted and applied to the body. That gives it a very realistic look and very intricate details because those are fairly thin pieces on there and they were still able to accomplish that amount of realism. And moving a little further down, the stockings are the same thing. They have that grayish black gradient as they fade down to the bottom. have more of these silver and blue nodes around the cuffs on the legs. The boots themselves have really great paintwork on them. They're a high gloss black, but the silver stripes that are on them are absolutely flawless on the line work. A lot of times you'll see statues that have stripes, lines, pinstripes, things like that are very sloppy as far as bleeding one color to another. The process they use on these statues, once again, absolutely flawless. Now, speaking of the paint apps, let's take a look at the skin tones. You can see along the waist, along the side of the thighs, anywhere you look on the arms, the face, the body, it has very subtle shading to where it's not just one straight skin tone. They vary it slightly with, like I said, that airbrush look. It really gives it a very natural look to it. Okay, and flipping around to the other side of the statue, I love what they did here with her pose. You can kind of see that a little bit better from this side. This line of characters, they have a mix of, like I said before, a provocative look, but also a playful look to them, and also staying very authentic to the characters. The sculpting itself in the hands, the fingers, the movement that they have, the dynamic look to them, all done really well. And from this angle, you can see some slight differences in the sculpting here. There are layers on here. That to me is very important in a figure or a statue. If they can accomplish layers, that gives it realism. It's not just one piece. You can see that right here with the neck piece. There's two different neck pieces, one in high gloss, one in a matte black, and then the suit around the shoulders begins on top of that. Now I would say let's take a look at the front of the statue, because this is the front of her body, but technically the front of the statue is her facing sideways. She's doing a profile look like this. So if we turn it around to the side, which does show the front of her body, you can see more details in the suit that I was talking about. The excellent sculpting where it looks like the vinyl is stretched in certain areas and pulled. It gives a very realistic look to the vinyl or latex suit that she's wearing. And flipping around to the back of the statue, this is where obviously you'll see most of the provocative theme that follows this line of statues. They all follow the same thing where they have bikini style costumes, giving them the signature look that they have. And speaking of that, they did a really great job on the female form on this. Very good stance that she has. Like I said, they did a really great job getting natural curves and a great look to it. Now looking at the back of it, you can also see more details on the suit. More of the silver and blue nodes, but also the sculpting on the back of the suit itself. The latex, black, the wrinkles that you see in it, the different tones throughout that, all sculpted and painted perfectly. So this is one of those lines of statues where I have to say, it's absolutely flawless. There's really nothing I can critique on this statue outside of maybe one thing, and that is the difficulty of getting it on the base. But to be honest, it looks like that's by design, to make sure that it's nice and snug and tight fit onto the base. If you're interested in picking up this statue, go ahead and click the link in the description below. That'll take you right to the best deal that I could find on this statue for you. Okay, so now let's get into a little more detail, get some close-ups, some scanning around, get you a closer look at the Gantz Anzu Yamasaki statue. Okay, and that's going to wrap it up for this review of the Gantz Anzu Yamasaki statue. Go ahead and leave a comment below, let me know what you thought of this statue. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, that way you won't miss any upcoming content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.